Hi, everybody, and welcome to TNGeez great new exciting feature where I unbox a very old damn toy. Now, some of you may remember, if you were alive back in the day, that a company called Playmates had the license for Star Trek toys, and they made quite a few Star Trek toys. They made a rather exhaustive next generation action figure line, some of which I own, and some of which I'm kind of looking into acquiring. But they also had this weird line of mini play sets, and you can see here on the box, it tells you Star Trek The Next Generation, InnerSpace. I don't know if you could see that this thing only cost $7 on clearance when it originally came out. It was originally $14.99, and if I'm not mistaken, that's at KB Toys. I know that because I worked at KB Toys. So this is one of many of these little play sets. It's the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D Bridge, and it's just a bunch of foolishness. It comes with these so-called action figures, and this time we get Captain Picard, Commander Riker, Commander Data, and a Shuttlecraft. The Shuttlecraft Goddard is one of the action figures. Well, you know what I mean. The box has the usual, like, oh, look at all the cool crap you can do. So it looks like the Galaxy-class Starship Enterprise, and then it opens up, and surprise, you get to see the bridge. It's kind of like that whole, here's the church, here's the steeple, open the door and see the bridge crew. You can see it's for ages 4 and up, and it's new. Well, it was new back in God only knows what year. On the back, you get the same kind of, and I kind of miss packaging like this. I miss getting a package now. You know, I just bought a new laptop for the podcast, and it came in an Apple box, and it's just all white. And isn't that cool? Well, not as cool as this, because you get to see these little features here. You get a preview of what's inside. And I got to be honest with you, when I was looking around on eBay at these things, it was this preview that sold me. The other side's pretty much the same as the one side. And then the bottom is pretty much, they just kind of did the same darn thing. I'm trying to keep this for the kids. So let's open this baby up. It has never been opened. When did this bad boy come out? 1995. And I'm sorry, the camera work is not that great because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done this before. All right, so here's the box. We look after it carefully. Comes with a little packet full of crap here. Let's look at the packet of crap before we get into the toy. Packet of crap. Something just fell. And what is this? Oh, it's a picture of a star base. And I think, actually, that's right. This one has a view screen on it, and you get to see the different, here's the decal sheet. And you get to put in these different cards in the view screen. Here's another, wow. I'm going to be up all night with this decal sheet here. Look at this. Remember back in the old days, you have to put on your own decals. Now everything comes pre-decaled, so you can't screw it up. And as a kid, nothing aggravated me more than when I got the decals crooked. And you'll be spared that. I won't force you to watch me do this. Here are the instructions. And again, something else you really don't get anymore with toys are instructions. Tells you, oh, look, here's where the Shuttlecraft lives, and here's where all the chairs go and everything. So let's take a look at the actual toy here. When I was a kid, by the way, I was huge on like G.I. Joe and toys and things like this. Here's I don't know what the hell that is. And I remember when these Playmates figures first came out, the taller ones, I was very upset because they were sort of oddly proportioned. You can see here it's wrapped very carefully in cardboard, a lot of cardboard. This was before we were concerned about the ecology, about the planet. Here are the warp nacelles. Here's this, a drum of some sort. The Enterprise itself is bound by some, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. These are the kind of toys that as a kid would drive you insane, right? Because your parents would have to get involved, and you wouldn't have the adult super strength to pull the Enterprise free the way I just had because of my steroid use in my youth. Here is something, oh look at this. This is the stand. The stand for the Enterprise-D. It's very exciting. These things are awful. Now I opened up, where's that stupid thing? I opened up this little guy not too long ago. The transporter room that comes in the communicator. It opens up into this transporter room, and I got to tell you, this is a real, it's a real doozy, because of course I had to put the decals on. But then when you turn this little knob, the characters disappear. Look at that. Oh my God, where'd they go? They beamed down to the planet Huckamuck. Oh no, the captain needs help. Let's go. But the characters are Data and Riker. And let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. It kind of looks like Data, and he's got his tricorder. You know, I love the tricorder if you listen to the podcast at all. But these are they say they're articulated figures. The only articulation is right here. Right there. That's it. These arms don't move. The head doesn't move. The tricorder doesn't move. Nothing else moves. You could just kind of dandle him. Hi, I'm Mr. Data. Dandle me. And that's about it. And you stick his android butt back in there, and you close it up. And I guess the fun is you wear this, and it came with a belt clip, by the way. It came with a belt clip that goes on the back. And then you just wear this as you're walking around, and if somehow you don't get beat up, then when you get a chance to sit down, you're like, I want to play transporters. And which is what Wesley, he likes to play sensors. So there you go. You just bust this bad boy open. Okay. That's enough of this POS. Let's look at the Enterprise here. Let's open up unwraps rather easily. A bunch of little parts, which I'm probably going to have to use the instructions to figure out what all these little parts are for. But here she is, NCC 1701D, the actual Galaxy-class starship herself. They always have to call the ship she for some unbeknownst reason, some unnatural reason. I remember there was a lot of discussion that Kirk was in love with the ship. This is all he loved was the ship. Here's the warp nacelles, which in the Playmates Enterprise-D larger size, hang on, I'm trying to get this in the camera. You can see it just fits on here. They have the same design for the warp nacelles, that the warp nacelles snap on to the main body. And if I get my hands on an Enterprise-D, we could take a look at that. Oh yeah, it just slides right on. This is so much fun for the kids. And some poor parent or guardian is like, all right, I'm going as fast as I can with this thing. Put the nacelles on. All right. So this guy opens up here, I assume. Oh, maybe not. I assume it should just open up. Oh, there we go. All right. Check out that action right there. Look at that. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see the whole thing there. But what you have here is, of course, the bridge. This is where first season Geordi and then interchangeable ensign will sit. Here's where Data sits, Troy's seat, Riker's seat, and of course the captain's chair. Here's the back area where Natasha and Worf just stand there like a couple of humps. This is supposed to be the often used brig that they hardly ever used, right? Because they never had any action on the show. You open this guy up. This is where the Shuttlecraft is going to live once I free the Shuttlecraft. And then here's where those little cards will go, right? I don't know if you can see that very well, but there you go. Oh, look, they're looking at see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. Looking at a planet now, or, oh no, they've left the planet. Here's this thing. Let's look at these little fellas here. You can see they're not individually wrapped, in case you were wondering. Here we go. Here they are on the packaging. Sorry, let's take a look at these little fellas here. And are they all fellas? Yes, they are. They are all fellas in a Shuttlecraft. 3 men in a Shuttlecraft. I think that was starring Ted Danson, if I'm not mistaken. Can you see this little fella here? Can you see him? There he is. That's the Shuttlecraft. That's the Goddard.
Let's get aboard the Shuttlecraft.
That's what the Monty Python version of Star Trek. Here we have Commander Data. once again, looking very worried. He's got his tricorder out. Deet, deet, deet. And again, this fantastic articulation. So in case you wanted to make like a humpy, or something like that. Do his legs move individually? Oh yeah, they kind of do. But it feels like it'll break any second now. Again, William Riker, here he is. Look at the size of his hand here. What is that? It looks like he's wearing a mitt of some sort. He's like, hello, I'm William Riker. I'm wearing a mitt. And it does look like his arms move. It looks like there's some articulation, but there isn't. It's a lie. And again, you see that he's got that fine... Yeah, I guess his legs do move a little independently, but again, it feels... Now, and here's the big ticket right here. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. Jean-Luc! It's Jean-Luc! Hello, number one! And again, he's got some giant mittens. Look at that. This is the opposite of Donald Trump with the hands there. Look at that. Look at the size of that thing. It's almost like elephantiasis there of the hand. And then again, he can jerk it back and forth as well. So there it is. Let me put the Goddard back where it belongs. I think I mentioned that to you before, that the Goddard lives here. And then the little fellas... All right, they're articulated the way... This is nice. I don't know if you can see this, but I close this thing, and you can see here the card from the viewer just fell out. That's the quality. Let me see if the captain can even sit in his chair. Hang on a second. There he is. Look at that chair. Isn't that done? The big chair. It's crooked. It's put in crooked. Oh, no, I guess it moves. Okay. So here he is. He sits in the chair. Wow. Yeah, I guess it's fine as long as they don't run into any turbulence here. He'll be fine in the chair. You can see him. I'm trying to get past the view screen. You can see his legs just stick straight out. So that's pretty good. That's pretty exciting. You work your way up Starfleet so you could sit with your legs sticking out. Oh, see, he fell right over. The minute I moved the thing, he fell. Okay, so pretty weird little set. This is supposed to give you minutes of fun, I guess, as a child. The Star Trek The Next Generation InnerSpace playset featuring Data, Picard, Riker, and good old NCC 1701D. Okay, everyone, we're back. Just wanted to add a few things. I've been working very hard on my InnerSpace toy here. As you can see, I've put some decals on it. Very fancy decals. So in case you didn't know, this was the NCC 1701D. I also put some decals on the inside. Mostly did a pretty terrible job. So I can zoom in just a little bit. Mostly did a pretty terrible job. You can see they're not very well aligned. Sort of half-assed it. Look at that one. That one's really good, huh? Now, if I were younger, of course, if I were a kid, I would have gone completely nuts. And I mentioned before that the fish weren't there. The fish were in a sticker, and they're now in there crookedly. I also wanted to point out that the Jean-Luc we got, where is he? Here he is Jacket Jean-Luc. This is that silly jacket he got at the beginning of, I think it's season 4 or 5, in Darmok. Remember? Darmok and Talad. Blah, 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 blah. But for some reason, I've always hated that jacket. I always thought it was dumb. I understand why he needs to wear a jacket and a turtleneck indoors. And again, we said this before in the podcast, that it must be cold in the Enterprise because Wesley's always wearing those big sweaters. Anyway, I'd like to point out, look at my hand compared to this thing, and of course I have giant hands because I'm a man, but these stickers are so ridiculously small.
Here's the sticker sheet that it was almost impossible. And some of the stickers I just didn't put on because it was just too depressing to think about getting all of these crooked. Didn't notice this before, but 10 forward. We also get 10 forward. Look at that. So there's a bar and you get a little seat, and this is where Riker can tell Picard, Riker and Troy can tell Picard he is just doomed for astrophysics. So I did notice that. I also found a couple of little parts that I didn't notice before, and now I can't find them. One is this little turbo lift here that goes right in there and doesn't stay put, but it does spin to give you the illusion. See, look at that. It sort of spins, and you can actually see the other pieces I wanted to tell you about. The turbo lift, and it's really fancy, so they could be like here and 10 forward. They could be here and 10 forward and then spin around, and suddenly they're on the bridge, because that's important that they get drunk and then fly the ship. The other piece, which I think is just, it's weird, but it's the chairs. And I don't know how many of you realize that they're actually chairs in this little back area that pull out, and they're supposed to sort of meld in with the background there, right? So it just looks like one piece. It's kind of like a little Murphy bed, like a little hide-a-bed, and then they pull out, and Data could be like, oh, look at all this stuff I found, Captain. It's so interesting. Oh, needle in a haystack, Captain. I have no idea what that means. But there you go. So now, seriously, I want to say thank you for watching this. If you watched it all the way through, I hope you had a good time. And if you watched it all the way through and you didn't have a good time, I apologize. But that pretty much wraps up our review, or my review and unboxing of the Playmates Star Trek InnerSpace NCC 1701D Enterprise. And please make sure to take some time to listen into our delightful podcast, TNGeez, not another Star Trek podcast, available where all delightful podcasts are that are delightful. And there you go. Thank you very much.